And getting to know yourself is such an understatement. It's such a privilege to know oneself, especially in this society where a lot of people will try to tell you who you are or what they think you are. You carry something that cannot be faked. Presence, depth, wisdom, not no surface level shit or empty confidence. You wonder why you're not growing, why nothing's changing, why you're not flourishing, why you're either sad or depressed. Well, I wonder why. Dude, my camera's weird right now. I don't know if it's zoomed in or not. I guess not, but it's looking weird and I don't know how to fix it, so we're just gonna do the video like this. Okay. I literally spent like, I would say, at least 10 minutes trying to figure out if I'm zoomed in or not because it doesn't look like what I originally work with. Like, it looks like it's zoomed in, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But we're gonna start the video anyway. Hi guys, I'm Lisa and welcome to my channel. Bro, I've noticed, like, on my videos, literally, I always use my hands. This is like my way of expressing myself. I'm a hands person, okay? So if you see me using my hands a lot, it's just like a form of expression, okay? So I can't help it. It's in me, okay? So just wanted to say that. So I don't know if I should make this a series or not because the last time I did a Let's Talk video was like early this year, like January. So I don't know. Stay tuned and we'll see if I decide to make this a series or not. Okay, let's talk. Okay, so the first topic we're going to talk about is standing alone. I believe one of the most crucial life lessons is learning how to be okay with being alone. Learning how to be okay with being alone sets you up for life, especially if you want to make it anywhere in life. You have to learn how to stand alone. And I'm so glad I learned this in my early 20s. I'm still in my early 20s. I am 22 years old. And we still have a lot more learning to do because you will always be a student of life. Back to what I was saying, the younger and earlier you learn this, the better, so you can start applying it in your life. Learning how to stand alone can be beneficial for you in so many areas in your life, like self-improvement and development, attracting better things and opportunities in your life, having better and healthier friendships and relationships, having healthy boundaries, and just like having a better quality of life. Because your main focus is on you and how to better your life, so you naturally make better decisions over your life. Learning how to stand alone teaches you how to ultimately rely on yourself. It can also boost self-respect, helps you become more resilient, encourages having higher standards, a natural boost of confidence and self-worth where you're not easily influenced to compromise your own integrity and the external pressure to conform to society norms and standards. When you inevitably face hardships, challenges, and obstacles throughout life, whether if it's things or people trying to bring you down or tear you apart, you will persevere because you've learned how to stand alone and you've learned how to be okay with being by yourself despite whatever odds are against you. A lot of the times when we do face hardships and obstacles in life, we tend to shut down, kind of give up. We feel hopeless, waiting for something or someone to help us pick ourselves back up, to encourage us. And although, yes, that may help, but ultimately it's up to you to make that decision. And one of the reasons why is because our brain is rewired to look for external clues. Not all the time, but fundamentally it seeks external clues and validation. So it's all about training your mind to not only rely on the external, but the internal as well. So it's important to have a strong, firm mind where you're not easily influenced, especially by anything outside of you. Because there's going to be a lot of things and people that are going to try to sway you this direction, no go that direction, no go this direction, putting you all over the place. And if you don't have a firm, strong mind where you're able to make and rely on your own decision, then you're One, it shows that you can be easily controlled, and two, it shows that you can be easily manipulated. I highly recommend for the people going into their 20s to take the time to get to know yourself and spend time with yourself. It's such a privilege to know oneself, especially in this society where a lot of people will try to tell you who you are or what they think you are. And the more you know yourself, the less you'll care or rely on anyone's opinions or go looking for external validation. In my opinion, getting to know yourself is such an understatement. There's great power that lies behind knowing who you are, knowing your worth, loving yourself, and having self-respect. It's like a self-protection shield that basically saves you from a lot of BS. It saves you from people, opportunities, and certain environments that are no good for you and don't have the best intentions. It saves you from being taken advantage of and being manipulated because you know what you're willing to put up with and what you won't tolerate. And a person that knows who they are is an easy target for the narcissist, the insecure, the inauthentic. You being who you are threatens a lot of people hiding behind the mask. People performing for attention, begging to be center of attention. People that are trying to fit in or be noticed. While you don't even have to try. You don't even have to lift a finger because it all comes natural to you. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to beg for attention. You don't have to compromise your self-worth and integrity just to fit in or be seen. You don't need the light to validate your worth because you already knew your value even when no one else acknowledged it. And that is exactly why you don't have to try or pretend and seek the spotlight. It comes naturally to you because you already carry that light within you. It's not something to obtain, it's already within you. You carry something that cannot be faked. Presence, depth, wisdom, not no surface level shit or empty confidence. You never had to do too much but be yourself, while others do the most to try to get noticed or be seen. You are doing the most to stay true to yourself, and the difference between you and a lot of people is that you don't have to force anything or impress anyone, but be yourself. And that presence alone hits way harder than any performance ever could. Believe me, it's a great thing to know yourself, but you also have to be aware of the downside that it comes with, and it comes with a lot. There is just so much that you're going to have to deal with. It's crazy. There's going to be a lot of weirdos, people, and just like interference trying to humble you, trying to put you down, try to make you feel less important than you actually are. People trying to dim your light, make you not see your power, and make you feel bad about yourself, saying you're too much or too this. Just a lot of weirdo freaking energy because they hate people, especially women who are self-aware, confident, knows their worth, and has boundaries. That can be intimidating to a lot of people who are insecure in themselves and don't have what they have, especially when they see that you're not easily manipulated or can be easily controlled. They will go so low to try to mess with you psychologically, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like, it's actually quite scary. Help. And like I said before, you will persevere no matter what they throw at you. They might knock you down a little bit, but they can never and will never break you because you are who you are because you are who you are. This is something that you might experience for the rest of your life. Like, who knows? Because there's a lot of weirdos out there, okay? And there's a lot of insecure people out there. But as long as you are aware of it and, you have God or the universe or whatever you believe in by your side, you're going to be okay. It sucks, but hey, no one said it was going to be easy because being you isn't even easy. Okay. I also just want to add, people who don't spend any time to get to know themselves or find a hobby or a passion or just something they like and enjoy doing, they end up miserable, lost, and confused in life because they don't have any drive, they don't have any passion, they don't have anything necessarily good going on in their life or for themselves. They don't even know who they are. So that naturally can lead to them projecting their issues in life towards others. They start to hate and be negative towards others, especially the ones that seem to be enjoying their life and love themselves. So spreading hate becomes their drive. That's their passion because they don't have anything else better to do. They don't have anything else to occupy themselves with. Like their life is just full of nothing but hatred. And spreading hate at least makes their life worth a living. It makes their life worth something. It's like, hey, at least I'm impacting some people by being negative and hateful. Ha ha ha. Like a little bitch. Like it's actually sad. It's actually a sad life to live. I feel sorry for you. Okay, still on the same topic, but I want to talk more about codependency. Learning how to be okay with being by yourself really helps you build a strong foundation within yourself. You're less likely to be attached to someone and depend on them for anything. You're less likely to choose relationships and friendships for the sole purpose of not being lonely or needing comfort. Choosing friendships and relationships for the sole purpose of just like not being alone actually prevents you from forming healthier relationships and friendships. Being codependent on someone actually puts you at a fragile position. Like an egg. An egg is so fragile. You have to be careful with it because once it breaks, it's over. Because once it's cracked, it's over. So being codependent on someone is detrimental because once that person is no longer in your life or you guys, go separate ways because life does happen and nothing is promised, then what? It's like you depended on that person for so long and when the egg cracks and they're no longer in your life, you realize you only have yourself at the end of the day. So you have to get to a point where you don't need anyone, but you want them in your life. It's not a need, it's a want. Don't get me wrong, it's normal to crave human connection and want to be around other human beings. In fact, human connection is something that's so wonderful and amazing and lovely. But if your goal is, I need that person to complete me, then you're done. It's normal to crave human connection, but not in a way that is compromising your morals, your standards, your self-respect, or in any way that is detrimental to your well-being. It's better to be alone than be surrounded by bad company. Like it's okay. Like it's okay to be alone. Like you're fine. Trust me. Like you're good. You're good.
Okay, I don't know how I forgot to say this, but you have to get to a place where you're like, I'm good enough just as I am. Then that's when you will start to attract way more because not needing anything attracts everything.
Okay, moving on to our next topic is watering yourself. A lot of people spend so much time focusing and worrying about other people's life and just other people in general, how their life looks like, or wishing they had what they have. They spend so much time consuming, especially on the internet, which is easy to do. It's easy to get lost in all that stuff online. But you have to remember, social media is not real life. Not everything is as it seems. Don't think the people on the internet got their whole life figured out because I promise you they don't. No one does. And if they tell you they do, they're lying. People spend so much time putting all the attention and focusing on other people's lives instead of focusing on their life and themselves. Okay, look at it as this way. You have your own seed. You've planted your own seed, aka you are the seed. And so has everybody else. They have their own seed, aka they're the seed. Anyway, it's like you're spending so much time watering everybody else's seeds, aka them in their life. What about your seed? You wonder why you're not growing, why nothing's changing, why you're not flourishing, why you're either sad or depressed or stuck. Well, I wonder why. Because you left your seed, aka you, high and dry. Nobody's taking care of it, nobody's nurturing it or watering it. You're taking care of everybody else's seeds, but your own. You're not doing anything to take care of yourself, to better yourself, to grow or change. But if we took the time to take care of our seeds ourselves, we'll start to see progress, growth, improvements. We'll start to flourish and become a better version of ourselves, and our lives will reflect on that. All because we took the time to nurture our own seed ourselves. On to our last topic of the night, because it's getting dark, as you guys can see, is anger is not the enemy. For some context, I'm talking about the normal human emotion anger, not the anger that is a persistent character trait or personality. Like, no, that's a whole different thing, okay? We're talking about the regular human emotion that we all experience from day to day. Okay. So I was reading this book. I actually started reading this book a couple months ago. I didn't get very far because I had other books that I needed to read, which was like way more interesting anyway. So I kind of put that to the side. And just a couple days ago, I picked up the book and started where I left off. And I was reading this sentence. It was something like, I still don't have a good relationship with anger. And that kind of like made me reflect on my relationship with anger. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. We got to talk about this. So I guess by reading that just like made me realize that I haven't really dealt with that emotion, because every time I get angry, I tend to avoid it or be more angry than I'm angry. And I believe it's because of my childhood, just the way I perceived anger, which wasn't in a very positive way. As someone who didn't grow up with like having a healthy relationship with anger, or just like in general, not growing up with knowing how to properly deal with emotions. But for this video, I'm just going to be talking about anger. With anger, it's sort of like I've been avoiding it every time I experience anger. For me, there's a lot of shame around being angry, just the way I grew up viewing anger. I feel shame around it because I grew up to believe that being angry meant bad, that you're a bad person, or bad this, it just meant bad. Bad. That you're a bad person for feeling angry and things like that. Because of my childhood experiences and the way that I was taught and viewed anger to be, and the way people reacted from being angry. It just made me look at anger in such a negative light, to say the least. So that's why every time I do get angry, I tend to avoid it and shame it and not really feel my anger and not really feel angry. But now I'm starting to learn more and more that anger is not a bad thing. Anger is not the enemy. It's the shame around it that is. Anger actually loves me and tells me when I'm being treated poorly or unfairly, or that I've been wronged. Anger tells me when a boundary has been crossed. Anger tells me when I need space or I need change. Anger tells me that I deserve better. Anger isn't inherently bad. It's a human emotion that can be used in a positive and, healthy way, also in a negative and like malicious way. But I'm not here to talk about the negative and toxic sides of anger. My whole point is just to allow yourself to feel angry and deal with it in a healthy way. But just to elaborate a little more about what I said earlier about not having a healthy relationship with anger and the way I perceive anger and things like that. For example, let's say in the workplace, someone said or did something that really made me angry. I used to think like, oh my God, like, why am I so angry? Like, why did I let that person make me angry? Like, they're nobody to me. Like, why am I angry? I used to just like be angry for being angry. It's like, I shouldn't be angry. Like, why am I angry? Like, I wouldn't allow myself to be angry. In whatever way, I used to think that I shouldn't be angry because being angry means bad. If I'm angry, that's a bad thing. But that anger was just showing me that I've been treated poorly or have been harassed and that it wasn't okay and that I deserved better. And for a while, I used to think this way. I'm like unlearning the way I perceive anger now. Being angry isn't a bad thing, that you are allowed to be angry.
I also want to add, it's important to get down to the root of why you got angry, why it made you angry. Is it because you actually feel injustice, or you just don't like what that person said, or maybe you felt intimidated or jealous, which is why you got angry. So I think it's important to, just get to the root of why you got angry. Because anger is such a complex emotion and can manifest in so many different forms. And a lot of the times, anger is used as a mask to cover how you're truly feeling. So that's why I think it's important for you to ask these questions so you can identify why you got angry and how to move forward from it. And just remember, your emotions are always valid, but your behavior is not.
So I believe allowing yourself to feel those emotions, allowing and making space for you to feel that anger, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, allow it to move through you so that way it'll be able to naturally release itself, because you took the time to make space for you to deal with that emotion instead of just like brushing it under the rug or avoid it or suppress it. And when you do that, you're not making space for it to go through because emotions are meant to be felt. And if you don't feel your emotions, it gets trapped inside of you. But sooner or later, it'll manifest in many different ways, like resentment, passive aggressive, physical aggression, etc. Or you might even take that anger out on somebody innocent, which later on makes you feel like shit instead of taking the time to properly deal with your emotions. But in conclusion, feel your emotions. Your emotions are valid, especially anger. Allow yourself to feel and let it move through you because emotions are meant to be felt because that's the only way it'll pass and release. That is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!